Hi, in this video we are going to learn how can we form ionic compound. First of all, from the word ionic, ionic means we have ions. So the ionic compound contains two ions. One of them will be cation, the other one will be anion. This ionic compound must contains two ions. One of them will be cation, which is on the left side. The other one will be anion, which will be on the right side. So all the cations, as we said, are positive. All the anions, as we said, are negative. So the ionic compound must contain positive ion and negative ion. Let's find together how can we form ionic compound from two simple ions. So how can we form ionic compound from the following elements? First of all, as we said, we should form the simple ion from each one of the elements. We have magnesium 12. Let's try to do the electron configuration first, then valence electrons, then find out if the range from 1 to 3, as we said on the previous video, we are going to lose the valence electrons. So we will have a positive ion. If the valence electrons from 5 to 7, we are going to gain to reach 8, and this will be the anion. So let's find together which one will be the cation and which one will be the anion. First element here is magnesium 12. So let's do the electron configuration first. 1s2, 2s2, 2b6, then 3s2. How many valence electrons we have? 3 is the highest number, it contains 2. So we have 2 valence electrons. As we said, from 1 to 3 it will lose. So after losing the 2 electrons, the Mg will become positive 2. So this is the cation, will be on the left side. So the cation here is the Mg plus 2. What about the anion? So let's do the electron configuration for the oxygen. 1s2, 2s2, 2b4. Let's count the valence electrons. 2s and 2b, we have 2 plus 4, so we have 6 valence electrons. 6 valence electrons is in the range from 5 to 7, so we need to gain how much? To reach 8, we need to gain 2 more. So after gaining 2 electrons, the oxygen will become oxygen negative 2. So how can we form the ionic compound from the two ions? We should add them together. As we said, the cation will be on the left side, which is Mg plus 2, and the anion will be on the right side, which is oxygen negative 2. So when we add them together, plus 2 and negative 2, so we will have no charge, and the ionic compound here will be magnesium oxide. It will be made from the cation, which is magnesium, and the anion, which is oxide. So this is how can we form simple ionic compound. Pause the video and try to solve this example by your own. Aluminum 13 and nitrogen 7. Try to form the ionic compound from the following elements. After pausing the video, let's try to solve them together. The first element here is aluminum 13. We are going to find either its cation or anion. So the first step is to do electron configuration. 1s2, 2s2, 2b6, 3s2, then 3b1. How many valence electrons here? We have 3s and 3b as the highest main shell. So it has 2 plus 1, so we have 3 valence electrons. 3 valence electrons is in the range of 1 to 3, from 1 to 3. So we are going to lose the 3 valence electrons. So the Al will become positive 3. What about the nitrogen 7? 1s2, 2s2, 2b3. How many valence electrons we have? 2s and 2b are the highest energy levels. So 2 plus 3 equal 5 valence electrons. So 5 valence electrons, that means we need to gain 3 more electrons. So the nitrogen will become negative 3, which is nitride. So we have Al plus 3 and nitrogen negative 3. When we add them together to find the ionic compound, Al plus 3 and N negative 3. So they will form aluminum nitride. As we said, the ionic compound has a rule. It must has no charge. We shouldn't have any charge above the ionic compound. The anion charge must be like the cation, plus 3 or negative 3. So plus 3 and negative 3, they will be 0, so we will have no charge for the ionic compound. So let's try to form the ionic compound from the following elements. So we have calcium 20, 1s2, 2s2, 2b6, 3s2, then 3b6, then 4s2. How many valence electrons we have? We have, for the 4s, we have only 2 valence electrons. So 2 valence electrons, we are going to lose them. So the calcium will become plus 2. What about the chlorine 17? So 1s2, 2s2, 2b6, 3s2, 3b5. So how many valence electrons we have? For 3s and 3b, we have 2 plus 5, 7 valence electrons. So 7 valence electrons, that means we need to gain 1 more. So the chlorine will become Cl negative 1. We have calcium plus 2. And we have chlorine minus 1, which is chloride. How can we form ionic compound if the two ions have the different charge? We are going to do cross multiply. So we are going to do cross multiply. So this 2 will be timed to the Cl, and this one will be timed to the calcium. Forget about the charge, just multiply the numbers. So 1 times the Ca, the calcium, so we will have 1 times 1 equal 1. What about the chlorine? 2 times the chlorine, so we have Cl2. And this is the final ionic compound, which is calcium chloride. That's how we can do ionic compound from two ions that have a different charge. Use the cross multiplication and you will find your ionic compound. Thank you for watching the video and see you next video.